well. And remember that nothing good ever comes easy or without hard work. Set your sights high. Have lofty goals in life. Never compromise your principles or lower your goals. Never accept less of yourself than you are capable of. For if you do, you are taking the easy way out, and that will become your standard in life. You can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish, and nothing is beyond your reach if you set your head to it. Get a good education. It is the key to everything, and it will determine what you are able to achieve and how well you can support and prepare your own children for their life. And you can and will receive an education, a great education, in your respective counties as anywhere else, so long as you are willing to work hard at it. As a leader, you're expected to be physically fit and mentally tough. You've got to be physically fit to lead and to be respected as a leader. And you have to be capable mentally of successfully coping with any situation that you may find yourself confronted with, regardless of the conditions, the hardships, the danger, the fatigue, or whatever. Never give up, and never take the easy way out, and never accept less of yourself than the ultimate of your capability. Those who you work with will know when you are not up to the task, no matter what the reason or flimsy excuse you may elect to give. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I have been in command of troop units in the 82nd Airborne Division and in the 18th Airborne Corps, and now when I go out to visit my units, the Rangers and so on, I don't see any of this in Special Operations Forces, but in some of those other units, and when I am in garrison, and not out in the field or traveling, I make it a practice to run with a different unit every morning. Because you can get in with a company or a battalion before daylight, slip in the back of that formation somewhere, hear what the troops are talking about, see how loud they sing and with what kind of spirit, and you can learn a lot about it. And there's one thing that absolutely burns me up on these runs, and that is to be running along there at the 3 or 4 mile mark, and some 19-year-old falls out on the side of the road faking some flimsy excuse that his ankle is hurting or something is wrong. That just burns me up, that he doesn't have the guts and the pride in himself and his family and everything that he stands for to hang in there and to finish that run. And what goes through my mind when I see that is that young man that walked all night long during the Korean War or in Vietnam through the rice paddies on a stub because he had his foot blown off by a landmine and he had to walk or die. And he did it for that young man that was on the side of that road. And he did it for me, and he did it for you, and he did it for the freedom that we have in this country. So always remember that. Your integrity must be above reproach. This is absolute. There can be no compromising of your integrity or your honesty. Same thing. It is the basic foundation of all other qualities. And the man or woman who compromises their integrity has no honor and never will have. They're a shell. You must be motivated for the right reasons, not for personal gain, but for duty, for the welfare of those entrusted to you, and for your country. Develop a sound and uncompromising relationship with your God. Everything that is good comes from this relationship, and there will be times when you will need strength that can be had only through this relationship, and it can be had just for the asking. There is no substitute for this relationship, so don't try to fool yourself by thinking that there is. It cannot be found in alcohol. It cannot be found in drugs. And it cannot be found in your relationship with another human being. You know, I have never seen an atheist on the battlefield. And I don't ever expect to. Because there's something about that situation when the bullets start flying and men start dying that causes us to clean all the tomfoolery out of our heads and begin to think logically about what we really are and where we get our strength from and how we can survive the situation. And if you've got the right kind of relationship, you can get that strength that's necessary, that inner strength that will allow you to live day at a time and cope with any situation that you might face. These are the principles upon which you should place your priorities. And I tell you this because I care about you, each one of you. Tonight, more than any other night, it is most appropriate to pause and to look at the flag and to remind ourselves that it stands for all that we have and that our commitment to serve our nation was right. Most of us consider our freedom to be a birthright. Our freedom is a birthright that has been gained through the blood spilled by those first Americans whose stubborn defiance of tyranny led to the founding of our republic. And each succeeding generations of Americans has met the challenge of maintaining that freedom so that it may be passed on to the next generation. In fact, more than 1 million Americans have given their lives in America's wars so that we can be here this evening free and proud with our families and our friends. We have learned through bitter experience that this gift is as fragile as it is precious. It is under constant attack, and we stand in danger of losing our own freedom if we weaken in our resolve to oppose those who seek to undermine it. We are the freest people on the face of this earth, and our strength rests in our patriotism and our sense of responsibility to our country and to all that it stands for. Peace and order and security and liberty are safe so long as love of country burns in the hearts of our people. However, with freedom and liberty comes responsibility, and responsibility is duty, and that duty is to preserve liberty. And no great country can long endure if its citizens do not measure up to this challenge.